one of the things that I'm going to start with is the various ways God speaks to us or through us. What do you guys think?
The various ways he speaks to us.
Yeah.
He speaks to us through his word, through other people, through music, through our dreams. And sometimes he just speaks like quietly, which is my favorite way, but it's not always how I hear him. I don't think I get quiet enough to hear him that way.
It's true of a lot of us, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What else? Anything else?
Donkeys,
Donkeys.
arrogant kings.
Last week, I think I said SpongeBob. He answered a prayer.
SpongeBob.
Even just nature outside.
I was just gonna.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Difficulties.
Oh yeah.
Fire.
Look, I don't want to talk about those things.
Anything else? Anybody else?
Nope.
I'm sure there's a ton of things.
Everything
who
we
used
do,
to-
he speaks to us. Everything.
What?
Say
What,
it.
Dee?
I said everything. Everything that happens, everything that he's always speaking to us. He's always there.
Agree. If we
You
can-
know who used
we can-
to, speak to me through is when I was raising Meg, he would show me who I was in her.
Yeah,
And
that's a good point.
Yeah, as a parent, that was that personal, speaking right to me. But he was like, yeah, I'm like you as a parent, only way better than that. And you're like her. Look at her. Would you beat her if she started walking and she didn't do it perfectly? Would you beat her up? I said, well, I might.
I want to, at the very least, I really, really want to. I think I felt the same way with my kids, having kids a little bit older. We felt the same way. I felt like there was a sense of God said, you can parent these guys in a more merciful fashion than maybe you felt you were. And that's not to pick on our parents, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, sure.
Maybe
Absolutely.
more intimate is a better way. More involved is a
yeah,
better way. More there, more present
right.
is probably the best way to say it.
And maybe having wisdom, and you guys may know this, when you have wisdom as a parent, you'd say to yourself, boy, if my kids ever got to such and such a point, I'll help them. And then when they get to that point, they're not really interested in your opinion or your suggestions, or sometimes they are, but a lot of times they're not. But
Yeah.
Megan.
it's funny how that works.
It is. You think I'd do so different, but you wouldn't. You
I just find the concept of kindness, the kindness of God, it's hard. It's the last thing I think of, but it's the first thing he reminds me of.
same.
Because I'm always thinking, I'm a rules person. Like I'm like, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And he's like, like, this isn't about you. This is about me.
Oh, right.
He's just really much kinder than we think he is.
I know.
Even in those trials, the fire. It doesn't seem that way though.
And I would,
It doesn't feel that way, but it's a very good point. It's an excellent point that his kindness is, you can't even imagine how kind he is. And it's hard to grasp almost.
Yeah.
Like, how could you be so kind when I'm such a jerk? I'm just a pebble of sand. Why do you care about me? Do you know?
I would describe it myself as he's not condemning. There's no condemnation.
Yeah.
Barrel's full of condemnation
Yeah.
in many, many ways. I've said this many times to my kids, and there's times that I'll have this crazy little thought go through my mind and I say, where did that come from? And a lot of times it's because there's no condemnation associated with it. And I'll say, I'm pretty sure that's not my own. Maybe that's him just speaking in this fleeting little thought that I could accept or even forget about it in an instant, and that's how I do. And then, but there's other times where the condemnation comes and but that's where I view him. He's so much less condemning in so many different ways
Right.
than I am.
Yes.
So
Yes.
might we say that he speaks through whatever or whomever he chooses, but
Yeah.
he never disagrees with his word.
Right.
He never, no.
He'd
you're
never
right.
contradict it. He'd never disagree in any way, shape, or form. And if he can, like the donkey or whoever, he can speak in any way he wants. And now we talked about him speaking through unholy people. We've been reading about Nebuchadnezzar. Anybody think about anybody else in the Bible that was seemingly unholy that he spoke through? God did. A lot of times, like Nebuchadnezzar, completely ignorantly, they had no idea that God was speaking through their lips. Anybody think of one besides Nebuchadnezzar?
Hmm.
I don't know.
Hmm.
No, I was thinking more of like somebody like who is it, Saul, who turned into Paul or something like, but that's like after he changed.
That's true. Well, let's turn to John 11:49 through 51. If somebody wants to read that, John 11:49 through 51. I'm sure there's more than the ones that I thought of, but this guy jumped out at me.
Oh, what's his name? Caiaphas?
Caiaphas,
Caiaphas?
11:49.
What is this? 11 what?
49.
49.
Oh, jeez. I'm like, where do you see Caiaphas?
You want me to read?
Yeah,
Then one of them named, I guess it's Caiaphas, who was high priest that year, spoke up. You know nothing at all. You do not realize that it is better for you than one man die for the people than that the whole nation perish. He did not say this on his own, but as high priest that year, he prophesied that Jesus would die for the Jewish nation.
okay, so he had ignorantly spoke a word which was about to be fulfilled. He didn't realize he was doing God's bidding and was actually prophesying there, but he did. That's one of the places. Another one that I thought of was in John 7:35. And in this passage, Jesus is at the what do you call it? The 7-day Feast of Tabernacles in Jerusalem. And Jesus stands up on one of the days, I don't remember which one, and he speaks. And the Jews respond in 7:35. And by the way, this is right after Jesus says, where I go, you won't find me. You shall seek and shall not find me. Where I am, you cannot come.
You cannot come, right?
Yeah.
So the Jews said to one another, where does to go that we cannot find him? Will he go where our people live scattered among the Greeks and teach the Greeks? Where did he mean when he said, you will look for me, but you will not find me, and where I am, you cannot come?
So he again, these Jews, whoever they might be, were saying, where's he going to go? It's actually, will he be dispersed among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles? And that's exactly what he did. Jesus did. So in some regard, they're prophesying because they're trying to say, hey, where's this guy think he's going to go? What's he think?
Yeah.
And he did just that. So those are two examples. There's probably a lot more. Anybody think of anything else?
I can't.
I did not.
Okay. Well, at this point, we're looking at, in essence, heathenish people that speak things that God uses. Let's turn to the first song. I don't know if you guys want to, Meg, if you want to do the YouTube or the Billy Joel song and just make mention of that. I have the lyrics that I can put up on the screen. Just tell me
Oh, yeah, share your screen, then I don't have to look it up.
which one do you want to start with, Meg?
Do the waterfall one.
Yeah,
You want me to start with that one?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, give me just a second to flash it up here. Okay, here we go. Share screen.
What? Why are you ever hearing?
Cause.
Which one?
look, even Gusty's put her hand up.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Yep,
This is the first song. Now, I'm scrolling up or down. Does it move for you guys?
Yes,
Okay, this is an old ELO song called from, I think, Face the Music, which was a little before my time. I didn't really listen to them back then. I listened to them just after, I think, this album. But
yeah,
so the lyrics are, now it's getting late for those who hesitate, got no one. But they don't understand and no one hears the sound. It's like a waterfall. It's an illusion. So if we look at that passage, he's speaking almost like an evangelist there, saying it's getting late.
yeah,
Those that hesitate, they got no one. And then he says, but they don't understand and no one hears the sound. Now, what sound is it most likely that they don't hear?
the Holy Spirit.
Right. And what they're left with, they say it's like a waterfall, and then it mentions it's an illusion. So that to me is similar to the image of Daniel that Nebuchadnezzar made. In one of the passages, it talks about the image, and the image, if you look up the root word, means phantom. Phantom's like a ghost. So it may seem to be there and have some power or whatever, but it's not really. It's a complete illusion. And so I feel like this song sort of references the same sort of understanding. Then the chorus goes, love is all, waterfall. Remember, the waterfall is an illusion. Love is all, waterfall, love is what you are. That's the first line of the chorus. And I feel like it's the message of illusion today. You know, love is however you feel, whatever you make of it. Your love, everybody's love. We're all sort of, tied into the great spirit in some regard. And it says it pulls you in and it takes you down. It's a sad affair. But as you hold back the power there, who would be the power that you're holding back?
power of God.
Yeah, the power of the Holy Spirit or God, whatever. But as you know, you hold back the power there without the friends and lovers, you could never go on living. Right? I took that to mean you won't live spiritually. And the second verse is across the waterfall that's falling evermore down on you, which is kind of what I feel like what we see today, the illusions. God set it up this way. I don't know why. Cascading through the days and flowing on its way. That's how it has to be, just an illusion. So there's a deep meaning, and I'm pretty sure that Jeff Lynne and ELO were not speaking of it from a Christian perspective, but nevertheless, it's interesting that,
Yeah, it comes across that way.
yeah, you could take it that way.
Yeah.
So who wants to do the next song?
Which one is it?
Well, you could do Kansas if you want.
I think we
Sure.
do this.
Do you have the words?
Yeah, it's on the screen.
So this song was actually written by a seeker. Kerry Livgren wrote this song. He was in some weird religion when he wrote this. But he was actually walking around preaching the religion to everybody. But this is like almost like God reaching down and speaking to him, like giving him like this insight. But go ahead, Derek.
You want me to just?
Yeah.
Okay, so the song "I'm Woven in a Fantasy," I can't believe the things I see, which is similar to like the waterfall, like
Yeah.
illusion. The path I've chosen now has led me to a wall. With each passing day, I feel a little more like something dear was lost. It rises now before me, a dark and silent barrier between all I am and all I ever want to be. It's just a travesty. Towering, marking off the boundaries my spirit would erase. I wonder what that means.
I know.
It's
Wondering
the
that too.
wall. His spirit, the wall keeps him from the knowledge and truth. And his spirit wants to erase that and go further. I don't know. That's what he thought, but I think that's how he felt, but I don't know what God was trying to say there. Or maybe he was just giving him insight. Like this is you, because he was seeking for a long time, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. I don't think it was just a 76-ish. I don't think
Yeah.
he discovered God until maybe 1980-ish, like 1970,
Yeah.
80.
Late, not 79.
Yeah.
Oh, did he become a Christian?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But he said I saw a story on him once, and he said that and the lead singer, he refused to sing his songs after he became a Christian. He said, I can't sing this crap.
Yeah.
So and he refused to sing it. And then they got this other guy who said he was a Christian, but I don't know much about him.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
this is him still seeking here.
Yeah. So the next verse says, to pass beyond is what I seek. I feel I may be too weak. And those are few who've seen it through to glimpse the other side. The promised land is waiting like a maiden that is soon to be a
Soon to be a
bride.
bride. Crazy.
The
Yeah, he
moment,
knew nothing about the Bible. He knew nothing about the bride. He knew nothing about like any of this stuff.
the moment is a masterpiece, the weight of indecisions in the air. There's that indecision and not understanding because you hesitated and it's getting late kind of thought process there.
Right.
Standing there, the symbol and the sum of all that's me. So in other words, symbol of all the sum that's all that's me. It's just a travesty. So everything I am and have become.
Here's what travesty means. You want to hear what travesty means?
Yeah.
go ahead.
A false, absurd, or distorted representation of something.
Wow. Crazy.
Towering, blocking out the light and blinding me. So everything that he's seen up to this time seems to block spiritual understanding. And he says, I want to see. Next verse
Golden
says,
diamonds.
go ahead, Dave.
Just that golden diamonds cast a spell. So earth and earthly worldly goods can really cast a spell. He says it's not for me. He knows it well. The riches that he seeks are waiting on the other side. So just becoming a Christian, that's what he's looking to do. That's what he can't find. There's more than I can measure in the treasures of the love that I can find. And though it's always been with me, I must tear down the wall and let it be. So, and then all I am, all that I was ever meant to be in harmony and smiling back at all who wait to cross, there is no loss. So yeah, I've always thought that was very, very spiritual, very, very descriptive about God and about God and how people who are not Christians but who are looking, it's a great descriptive song for that.
It is. Yeah. Very, very deep, very heavy.
Yeah. Always thought that.
So I wonder if like the writers like maybe write it for like spiritual, do they do that and then like they can't get any money on them and like sell the rights to these? do you think?
Well, Kansas was pretty, that was a minor hit, but it's a very large and, big hit in their catalog.
Yeah.
And they have other songs that have a spiritual component to them as well,
Right.
that were big hits. But that one was a minor hit. Most Kansas fans or people from, our age, our genre would know that song.
Yeah.
I saw them in person. I saw them
Yeah.
at,
Right?
were you with me? Or no, you are not with me. I
Yeah,
went
we-
with friends from school.
We saw
Remember
them
we
a
went
few
down
times.
to Merrill?
Oh, yeah, we saw them later, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we saw
saw-
them much later, but I mean, I saw them when I was a kid.
I
We saw them
don't
at
know
the
if I saw
Spectrum.
Kansas when I was a kid. I saw Journey.
I saw Kansas.
I might have seen Kansas. We did go a lot of places together, Deb.
Yeah, no, I went with this friend from school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We were pretty close. I liked the lead singer at the time.
I
Now
remember.
he looks, wow.
So it was all about your attraction for him, I'm saying.
No, it was all about that and that too,
Yeah,
at the concert.
yeah.
I went online.
what's that?
I went online to see I searched for I said what are they, like secular songs or something?
Uh-huh.
And then I saw those two songs.
You too.
Yeah, it was
Right.
you too. And I was like, oh
You
my,
two went through a Christian period. I
Right.
mean, I don't know. He might have been one of those seeds that fell to the ground and like sprang up and died real quick. But I
Because he
remember he
remember
did.
he
Huh?
denounced it after they became Christians, and then he denounced it afterwards.
Right.
Yeah.
Then people booed him.
Yeah.
You're talking about Bono, right?
Bono.
Bono
Right.
was the one that I think was a little bit more into the
Yeah.
spirit component. Do
Yeah.
you want to read these, Meg?
like read the verses. Do you want me to
Yeah.
sing it?
If you want.
Yes. I don't
You wanna-
want you
Yeah,
to just
man,
read
go ahead,
like
sing
he
it.
did.
It says, I
Wait,
want to run.
What is this?
This is
What
where the
song?
streets have no name.
Yeah.
Oh.
I want to run.
Uh,
I want to hide. I want to tear down the walls that hold me inside. I want to reach out and touch the flame where the streets have no name. I want to feel sunlight on my face. I see the dust cloud disappear without a trace. I want to take shelter from the poison rain where the streets have no name.
Where the streets have no name.
We're still building and burning down love. Burning down love. I don't think that was the tune. And when I go there, I go there with you. It's all I can do. The city's a flood and our love turns to rust. We're beaten and blown by the wind, trampled in dust. I'll show you a place high on a desert plain where the streets have no name. Oops. Oh, that's the
Where
same.
the streets have no name.
Our love turns to rust. Wait, is this the same thing?
That's the chorus there. You said
Yeah.
something.
This is the verse.
Do you want to want to skip that and do the outro down here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our love turns to rust. We're beaten and blown by the wind. Oh, and I see love. See, our love turns to rust. We're beaten and blown by the wind, blown by the wind. Oh, and I go there with you. It's all I can do.
Is this on Joshua Tree?
I think so. Here's the album. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
The Joshua Tree. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the album that they had their Christian.
Spiritual awakening.
Yeah.
So what do you
And
think?
then-
The streets have no names. What street is he? What is he talking about? What might he be talking about?
Heaven.
That's what I thought too when I read that. That's,
Same.
that's what I assume that he's talking about. And even where he says tear down the walls, I'm assuming it's almost kind of like the thought process that Kansas just had with that other song.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
Maybe.
Yeah.
anything else with that one?
I don't know.
It was in response to the notion that it's possible to identify a person's religion and income based on the streets with no name. That's what that recap said. On the right,
Oh, is that what it said?
yeah.
What did it say?
It was written by Bono in response to the nation that it's possible to identify a person's religion and income based on the street where they live.
Huh.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh. It's pretty weird. I never was a big Bono fan.
Well, let's do Billy Joel then.
Just telling you.
Okay, yeah, River of Dreams. What do you, somebody want to do that or read that?
Do
Oh,
I? Yeah,
By
go
the way,
ahead,
this-
Meg.
This is one of those songs that once you start reading it, the tune sticks in your head all day.
I know, that was
Yeah.
like that
Yeah.
last.
Yeah.
I want to start singing it to that. All right, in the middle of the night.
I go walking in my sleep.
I was like, what's the tune? And then I started reading it. Um,
Oh, river so deep.
all right. I must be looking for something sacred I lost, but the river is wide and it's too hard to cross. And even though I know the river is wide, I walk down every evening and I stand on the shore and try to cross the opposite side so I can finally find what I've been looking for.
Is that kind of like the same thing that Carrie Livgren or Kansas is looking for, some type of spiritual fulfillment or something?
Yeah.
That they
Yeah.
can't quite get to it, but they're looking.
Yeah.
It sounds like it.
Go ahead, Beck.
I read that, I think.
Okay.
In
And
the
then
middle of the night.
Night.
I go walking in my sleep through the valley of fear to a river so deep, and I've been searching for something taken out of my soul, something I would never lose, something somebody stole.
Evil little devil.
Yeah, I feel like it's like that like you're never satisfied.
Yeah.
I don't know why I go walking at night, but now I'm tired and I don't want to
'Cause
walk.
he's old and he's kind of overweight. That's probably why.
I hope it doesn't take the rest of my life until I find what it is that I've been looking for. In the middle of night.
I go walking in my
In
sleep.
my sleep.
Verse 3, right? I'm not sure about a life after this. God knows I've never been a spirit. Oh, I don't even think I read that part of it. I've been a spiritual man baptized by the fire. I wade into the river that runs to the promised land.
Wow.
He's
Well, that-
saying, I've never been a spiritual.
I've
Right.
never been a spiritual man
Yeah.
baptized by the fire. I wade into the river that runs to the promised land.
Yep.
So he says, even though he hasn't been, that's what he does.
Yeah.
Or that's all that he never achieved because he's not a spiritual man.
Because he was overweight, he fell. Sorry.
That's okay. Let's do the last one that I had. You may not have thought of this one.
Evil woman?
Yeah, this-
Evil woman.
Another yellow song, because they're
That's
kind of
hard.
easy once you
Hard
see
of
it. Right, right. Now,
Dad used to sing this to me though. You think I'm hard?
I like this song.
He
Who
did
did?
not, Meg. That's terrible.
Pat did?
No, my dad, I said.
Oh,
Hey, woman, you got the blues. You ain't got no one else to use. There's an open road that leads nowhere, which is probably the broad road that he's referring to. Now, I know Jeff Lynne is not a Christian. I think he's not a Christian. I'm almost positive, but I think he probably is looking at the representation of the church on the earth. And had a lot of anger or saw a lot of hypocrisy in what was there. This is what I'm thinking. He says there's an open road that leads nowhere, so just make some miles between here and there. There's a hole in my head where the rain comes in. You took my body and played to win. Ha ha, woman, it's a crying shame. You ain't got nobody else to blame.
Evil woman.
Rolled in from another town, hit some gold too hot to settle down. I never knew that was the line there.
It's some gold. Settle down. Is that like Vegas?
I guess. But a
Okay.
fool and his money soon go separate ways. You find a fool lying in a daze. Ha ha, hi, woman, what you gonna do? Here it is. You destroyed all the virtues that the Lord gave you. It's so
Wow.
good that you're feeling pain. You better get your face on board the very next train.
Hmm.
That's interesting.
Last verse. Evil woman, how you done me wrong, but now you're trying to wail a different song. Haha, funny how you broke me up. You made the wine, now you drink the cup, like the harlot in Revelation, 18, 17. I came running every time you cried, thought I saw love smiling in your eyes. Haha, very nice to know that you ain't got no place left to go.
Love to go.
Wow, he was really bitter.
He
I don't-
was, he saw something in the harlot in the church that he thought was false.
Did he write that about what he saw?
He never
In
goes
Christian-
into detail what he did, but he's one of those guys that that wrote stuff, again, kind of like Nebuchadnezzar, that has stuff that he does, and he's not sure where it's coming from, but God does speak through some of his words, some of the words of searching, just like he did through Kerry Livgren, or even, with Bono and so forth. He speaks through them, but maybe they don't have any idea.
Yeah.
Or he's one of those writers who's talented enough to take a situation and make it vague enough that it applies across multiple areas. That's the sign of like a really good writer.
Yeah.
He wrote all the songs for ELO?
Yes.
Oh. I listened to him a
Definitely.
lot when I was younger, but I didn't know who the guy was because I guess I was too young. Mom said it was going to concerts was a sin.
Yeah, well, you know what? Let's move into something. Speaking of a sin, let's turn to Matthew 13. And we're going to read this. Hopefully we have like 4 minutes. We can read this passage and we'll see if it's really a sin or not. Somebody,
What are we looking at?
Matthew 13, 3-9.
Then he told them, Matthew 13, 3-9.
Yep.
Then he told them things in parables, saying, a farmer went out to sow his seed. As he was scattering the seed, some fell along the path, and the bird came and ate it up. Some fell on rocky places where it did not have much soil. It sprang up quickly because the soil was shallow. Oh, through 9.
Yep.
Sorry. But when the sun came up, the plants were scorched and they withered because they had no root. Other seed fell among thorns, which grew up and choked the plants. Still other seed fell on good soil where it produced a crop, 160 or 30 times what was sown. Whoever has ears, let them hear.
Okay, so here we have 4 different ways God through, or Jesus through the seed. Deb, you had mentioned one earlier. One was by the wayside. Well, no, you didn't mention the wayside. I think you mentioned either the rocky or
The rocky place. I said Bono was the rocky. Maybe he sprang up and then the soil was shallow and he withered.
right. But Jesus as a whole throws these seeds all over the place. He throws it evidently, even without the artist knowing, in the midst of secular music by using artists that he throws seed out that probably have no clue that they're throwing seed. So some go by the wayside and never spring up, or I think they're, what are they? The birds came and devoured them. The other one is rocky, not much earth. There's no room to spring up. The third one's the thorns, and it's choked out by the thorns, and the other one's the good ground. So Jesus doesn't just throw seeds on the Christian ground, he throws it wherever he wants. And if it happens to be at a rock concert that you'd say, oh, I really like this artist, and God says, you think I'm not strong enough or big enough to speak to you in the midst of some heathen individual? I am.
Right. Right.
So, and I think that's what we're discovering, and that's how God could also take a Nebuchadnezzar guy
Mhm.
and actually show him things or speak to him or whatever the case may be.
Right.
So I guess I thought, wow, that's pretty, like, God is so much bigger than we think. And if he says, you know what, my people on earth aren't doing the job, watch what I can do. I can throw it all over the place. They don't recognize it as seed, but
Yeah.
somebody could take it and I can use it as seed. And
Yeah.
maybe I've thrown a zillion things all over the place and it hasn't done any good, but I still throw it. You know?
Yeah.
All right, we gotta go. We'll be right back and we'll start in Daniel 4.
Okay,
Okay.
All right, bye.
bye.